NYU finally did a study that is long overdue. They looked at the street drug that's being referred to as Molly to figure out exactly what it's being mixed with. Now, for those of you who are unaware of what Molly is, it's basically a rebranded version of so-called ecstasy. It's supposed to be the pure form of MDMA that isn't cut with any other drug. But of course, since it's an unregulated drug that isn't being looked at by the government, you have no idea what dealers are putting into it. So this rebranding has been successful in getting people to think that they're taking a pure drug, but in reality, it turns out, according to this NYU study, they're cut with things like bath salts. Let me give you the details.
You're going to make me say it again. Of course! Oh, no, my drug dealer is scrupulous, said the dumbest person on earth. Right? So if they can make more money by cutting something else that's cheaper into it, of course they will. Most of the time, they probably water it down. They'll have stuff that's in there that doesn't get you high at all and could be dangerous to you. But in this case, for whatever reason, I guess the bath salts are cheaper. They cut the bath salts in. Next thing you know, you're eating some dude's face.
Yes, look, the Molly thing would drive me crazy. Look, there was a year when I would go to a lot of music festivals, and you come across the people trying to sell you the drug all the time, right? Like, oh man, it's a pure stuff. This is Molly, it's not ecstasy.
Oh,
no,
man.
It's the same thing. You just rebranded it and tried to trick me into thinking this is pure. Why would I believe your dumbass into, taking this? There's no way. Anyway, let me give you the details. So a recently released NYU study determined that 40% of people who thought they were popping Molly, the supposed pure form of ecstasy's main ingredient MDMA, actually had unwittingly ingested synthetic cathinones, the active ingredient in bath salts and/or other psychoactive substances new on the market intended to mimic the effects of traditional illegal drugs. So it's a disaster. Look, there's, of course, this thing that the government wants you to believe that as soon as you take bath salts, you're going to eat someone's face under a bridge in Florida, right? That's not necessarily true, but you don't know how it's going to impact your body. It's very, very dangerous. There are drug testing kits that you can buy online, but they're really expensive. So a lot of people opt against it, and they just trust whoever's selling them the drug. Please don't do it. And more importantly, I just wish the government would regulate it, legalize it and regulate it so people know what they're taking. So drugs like bath salts don't come about because people are trying to find legal ways to get high before the government clamps down on it.
I'm amused by the idea of somebody taking Molly, then realizing they're on bath salts and going, I got to get on a plane to Florida. There's a dude whose face I got to eat under a bridge.
Right.
Okay, so by the way, the other thing we find out from this is, no, not everybody who takes bath salts becomes a cannibal.
Right.
So let's bring that down a notch.
Exactly.
But having said that, it turns out a lot of you are taking bath salts and you don't even know it. And that is definitely dangerous.
Yes. Now, the researchers focused on the hair samples provided by 48 participants who reported ecstasy use. While half of the samples tested positive for MDMA, which is actually pretty good, I'm surprised by that, half tested positive for bath salts and/or novel psychoactive substances. Among those who reported no use of bath salts or unknown powders or pills, 4 out of 10 tested positive for bath salts and/or novel drugs. Be smart, guys. Don't put chemicals in your body, especially when you don't know exactly what it is.
The whole point of selling drugs is to make money. It's like some folks might be like, oh, I don't trust corporations. They're just trying to make a buck. But my drug dealer, he's a good guy. Come on, wakey, wakey, okay? Don't make me, put bath salts under your nose to wake you up.